You have exactly 60 days before Trump takes office. Can you move abroad in that time? In this video, we're going to talk about your quick plan to make your Blaxit out of the US. But first, hey girl, hey, my name is Tanisha Mercer. I help Black women solo travel and move abroad. If any of that sounds like you, do me a favor, click the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of the updates. All right, let's get it started. In exactly 2 months, January 20th of 2025, Trump will take office. All of the discourse online, especially if you're amongst the 92% of Black women who voted against Trump, a lot of the discourse is talking about moving abroad, right? How do you get your move abroad plan together in that amount of time? We're going to talk about how you can get your plan together. We're going to talk about action, and getting your plan together to leave the US. You've only got 2 months if you want to do it before he takes office, but it is entirely possible. Here are a few things you may want to do. I moved abroad in 2022. I've been in Paris for more than 2 years now. I did it. You can too. All right. Even with who we have taking office, you can do it too. Here's how. So first, number one, you have to figure out where it is that you want to go. Where do you want to go, sis? I mean, no move abroad plan happens without you knowing exactly where you want to go. I'm talking about the region, the city. Do you want to bop around? What are the areas that you're targeting? Are you looking at going around Mexico? Will it be Africa? Will it be countries in Africa? Which continents are we talking about? Are we talking about Europe, Africa, Asia? What are we talking about? South America, Central America? Where are we talking about? You have got to identify where it is that you want to go. I cannot emphasize this step enough. A lot of the conversation in many of the online travel groups that I'm in, it definitely is a sense of panic. I don't want you to panic. I do want us to plan and plan carefully. You can make this move abroad. You can make it within 2 months, or if you need a little bit more time. But in this video, we're going to talk about quick action steps to get you to move abroad. The first part of anything is figuring out where you want to go. You have to identify the areas. If you're packing a bag, where are you packing that bag to? Okay, what city, what country, what continent, where are you going to go? So once you identify the areas where you want to go, whether that is you going to different locations or whether that's you remaining stationary, as I did. Like I decided to move to France, specifically Paris. So I knew the country, I knew the city, region, all of that good stuff. You need to figure out where exactly you're going to go. Number two, you need to do your research. This is really important. I'm definitely seeing a lot of panic online again, and I get it. But I need you to do your own individual research. These Facebook groups on, TikTok, social media channels, they're just an assistance. They just help you. They do not take the place of doing your own individual research. You have got to do the research for yourself to know where the requirements of where you want to move. So how long can you stay there on your passport? Do you plan to get a visa? If you're going to make a total Blaxit, you're probably going to need a visa. What are the visa requirements? Have you done the research, right? Do you want to know if you're going to make a really quick move where you can go without a visa? You can go to certain countries for up to 6 months. Like, for example, the UK, up to 6 months, right? You can go to Mexico. Laws are changing a little bit, but I want to say up to 6 months there too. You can go to many countries in Europe as an American with a passport for up to 90 days out of 180 days. It is a 6-month rolling calendar. And yes, countries in the Schengen zone, which there are 20 plus of them, all count cumulatively. So if you're thinking I'm going to bop around France, Italy, and Sweden, France, Italy, and Switzerland, that might not really be a good plan, because all of those countries are going to count against that 180-day rule. So you need to do your research. You need to know what the residency, what the visa requirements, how long can you stay. Some countries, such as, for example, Albania, as an American, I'm almost sure you can stay up to a year with no visa. I believe Poland also, you can stay for an extended amount of time. Now, you may say, "Oh, I don't want to go to Poland. I don't want to go to Albania." Okay, fine. You've got other countries. You've got Costa Rica, great example. You can get a visa relatively easily. You've also got places like South Africa that have recently launched a new digital nomad visa. Check out the areas in countries where you can set up. There are a number of places. Rwanda, for example, has a relatively easy process to start businesses there. That may be an area you may want to consider. Countries like Ghana, they are putting out the welcome mat to Black Americans, right, in recent years. You may want to consider all of those places, but these are areas where you need to do your research to find out what the rules are. I'm a big advocate of research. I'm a big advocate of knowing what the rules are so you don't break them. Okay, so as part of your research, and depending upon the country, and if you speak the native language, you may want to hire an immigration attorney. Now, some people don't recommend it. Myself personally, I've had an immigration attorney since 2022. I'm still his client. For those of you who are interested in moving to France, check out the link in the caption. You can get a special discount with my immigration attorney if you are looking to move to France. But I'm telling you, if you do not speak the language, it is highly recommended. Look, the money that I spent on my attorney is some of the best money that I've ever spent. Can you do it yourself? Yes, you can, absolutely. But I don't want the stress, headache, and all of that stuff, especially with me not knowing the language. I want an expert in it, right? I want an immigration expert who can do the things that I don't know how to do, the questions that I have. I see so many people on social media asking visa questions. Well, if you would hire an attorney, that attorney would be the one that would be responsible for answering those questions and helping you with any problems. In many of these countries, it is extreme bureaucracy. Countries like France, like Portugal, I am telling you, they are not, it is a process. I have found that paying an expert, making sure they're an expert. Now, for me, I prefer hiring an attorney. I'm not about to go up here and hire somebody that isn't a legal expert. Making sure you hire a licensed attorney, references. You've done your research and your homework on this person, because there are a lot of people and even agencies that will masquerade and say they are legal experts, and they are indeed not. So you need to do your homework when you're picking an immigration attorney. Remember, I said immigration attorney. Now, you can go to others for paid advice, but when it comes to doing that application, I need you to have some education and some letters behind your name. Okay, that's just me personally. So don't forget, those are all important things that you may want to do. The third step is you have got to figure out your online income. How will you make money, sis? Are you taking your job from the US and working remotely? Are you a digital nomad? Will you have a business that you are running from the US and can then use that income in the country of your choice? How will you make money? Okay, do you have retirement income, right? Maybe you're retired from the military. Maybe you are, 50 plus, 60 plus, 70 plus, 80 plus, whatever. How will you make money? Because every country that you are going to want to move to if you want to get any kind of visa or residency, they are going to ask, how are you going to pay for yourself? That's going to be an important question. I don't care what country you move to, they want to know, how will you support yourself? So you're going to have to prove that you have some income to support yourself. So maybe you've invested very well, you've got 401k money, or you've got rental properties, whatever you've got going on, they're going to want to know. And yes, they're going to get into your business, into your financial business. Be prepared to show bank statements, be prepared to show whatever your earned income statements are, W-2s, 401k statements, savings, all of that good stuff. These folks, these countries will get into all of your business. So be prepared for that. This is where your research and your homework comes in. Some places in some countries, like France, for example, they do not accept 401k earnings as income. And that, I believe, is because 401ks don't exist in France. Now, do I think that's wise? No, I don't. But it is their rules. And so you need to know this going forward. While other countries like Mexico, I'm told, will perfectly accept a 401k, like if you've got a chunk of money set aside there. So you need to know the rules, and the rules change every year. If any of this information is incorrect, hey, leave information in the comments, that's fine. Remember, these rules change suddenly. I'm not an immigration expert. You should hire one though, okay? I'm not an expert, but you should hire one. So this is what you pay an expert for. You pay the expert to know the changes in immigration. Here in France, the income amounts change every single year, like every January, I believe, it goes up. Things change. New laws are written. Mexico, years ago, you had to just make more than the minimum wage of a Mexican worker. Now, I want to say you must make is it 7,000 or so a month, new rules. So make sure you know the rules in advance, and that way you won't know the rules in advance or hire someone to know the rules for you. But you need to figure out the income piece. Hold on, I'm sorry, my little light thing is going off here. Make sure you know the rules ahead of time, and you know what your income requirements are going to look like. Okay, you know how much you need to qualify to stay in that country. You need to know all of that information and details, and you need to know, again, all of these countries are going to ask you to prove your income. So you need to think about, how will you be making income? How will you, are you independently wealthy? Maybe you are. Congratulations if you are. So how will you be able to prove your income? Next, you've got to think about, what are you going to do with your stuff? This is an important one. This one alone will keep people stuck where they are. You need to immediately start figuring out a plan for your stuff. And I know if you are in the US, for the most part, you are probably a maximalist and you probably got stuff. Most people are not living in tiny houses. Most people are not like minimalists. You got stuff on stuff on stuff, okay? So you need to figure out a plan for your stuff. I want you have to really break the emotional attachment that you have with your stuff, because you cannot take everything with you, unless there's some countries where there are some exceptions. I believe like Mexico. So for example, if you're driving from Texas or somewhere in California to Mexico, you can drive your stuff over, theoretically, right? Theoretically. So, but most places you're flying. Do you really want to fly with all your computer equipment? Are you going to ship your couches, your cars, your all of that stuff? I see people all the time online asking these questions, and I'm telling you, everything that they make in the US for the most part are going to be made in the country where you're going to go to, okay? So, hold on. It's going to be made in the countries where you're going to go to. So you need to keep that in mind. This is not a lift and shift, right? Even if you move your stuff, like for example, the appliances work on different wattages here. They have different plugs. They have converters that you have to have. And it is such a headache. Okay, I'm in Paris, and it's entirely different. You have got to make a plan for your stuff. Are you going to put it in storage, which I don't recommend? Storage is just it's a waste of space, honestly. If you are looking at putting your entire home into a storage, you're going to pay that money and you're going to forget about all that stuff, and out of sight, out of mind. I did storage for too many years. After I downsized, I do not recommend storage at all. If anything, if you've got some important documents that you need to house or store them with a family member. See what else you can do, but storage to me is just a waste of time and money. It's really a waste of money. So figure out what you're going to do with your stuff. Are you going to sell your stuff? Okay. You've got depreciating assets. You've got vehicles. Can you sell them to get extra cash, right? Because think about it. Who's going to start up your vehicle? Who's going to get your vehicle registered? Have you thought about that? Who's going to drive your vehicle every so often? If you're going to make a move, you have to make a plan for those big items. You need to also break that emotional attachment. There's no need for you to ship your couch. I know you love your couch, okay? I know you love your couch from Ashley, Ashley's Furniture, Pottery Barn, whatever, IKEA, whatever, okay? They make furniture in the country you're going to. So in most cases, you probably will want new stuff, right? And secondly, your old furniture may not even fit